Well, I'm Chris, and this is my how to paint a door panel part 2 video. So in part 1 we used this just generic upholstery paint. You can buy this at AutoZone O'Reilly, and even real restoration places have been using this for over 20 years, just like I have. That's why we use it, because this used to be the only stuff that you could get. Works perfectly fine. But notice I said restoration because you're going to use this for the whole car. When you're trying to match colors on interiors, you run into big issues, so you have to buy the $20 one. There's also SEM that people use for the GM cars, and if you notice right here, we have a Mopar color. So SEM and this are pretty much on the same level, and we're going to try to match the color of the Jeep with this one today. So in the last video we used this, and the door panel was baked on top. That's what that look is right there. I got it out here in the sun so you can see it really good. But from far away, and when we first painted it, it didn't look like this. So we're going to try to give this one a second coat with this, in case you have a sun-baked panel. Further you stand back, you don't notice it. Of course, we could put some armor all on this, but it has not been washed or touched since that video. But we are going to wash it in this video, because a lot of people have been asking me, is this stuff just going to rub off? It may actually rub off up here where it was baked, and all these areas down here, it's permanent. But we're going to go ahead and recoat it, see if we can make that look a lot better. So in the other video we used this, and this is exactly what we're going to use to wash this and scrub them. You got to scrub these 2 times to make sure they're 100% clean front and back. We may have to dry them off with air compressor, but this is all we're using. You do not need wax and grease remover. Let's get started. Just scrub them and scrub them again. This area up here, I don't know if that's freaking skin or if that's dirt or whatever it is, but we got to try to get all that out of the cracks. So what you're trying to do is scrub all the armor and all the hand grease and dirt over the years. You can already see we got dirt just popping up right here. You're trying to get that stuff out. That's why I need to wash them twice. As soon as this thing dries, we're going to paint it. Let's get the other one off. So we're about to wash these with bleach soap and give them a second coat, and hope it's going to cover up that sun-baked area right there. So in case you don't know, on a molecular level, the ultraviolet rays break this plastic down. So if you were to go down there in a microscope, it would be breaking away little tiny pieces at a time, and that's why the paint looks different right there. So let's scrub it. Let's see if it comes off. Maybe it won't, but you can see the paint job from the other video. It's a good paint job, and it's not going to come off at all down here, just on that top section if it does. So a guy in the comments was asking me, if he hits this with Meguiar's, is it going to start coming off? I don't use Meguiar's, I don't know, but we're about to hit this with bleach soap and scrub it. So if it's going to come off, it's going to come off like this. Same exact process, because we're about to put a second coat on it. And there's also a reason that I'm making a part 2, because if you paint a weather door panel like this, you need to let it set up and then scrub it before you put the second coat to get the best results. So one important thing to note, you see how we still got that little white stuff in there and closer to the edge, but we got it off right there. We need to go ahead and give that another scrub. So this is an old can of flat black, and it's probably that full. We're just going to put a light second coat. So these nozzles like to gum up, so you have to be completely aware of that. In the other video I was talking about not stopping, and I didn't stop, but you kind of have to lift off if it starts squirting. And the clowns in the comments just go wild for stuff like that. Hey, why'd you say not to stop when you stopped in the video? Bruh. Pay attention to stuff like that, because if you want to laugh at it and joke about it, I promise you it's going to happen to you, and it's going to screw your project up. So we're spraying flat and I ran out, but I do have some gloss. Let's do an experiment with gloss and see if it'll do a better job covering up that baked part. See, that happens to all of them. You see, spraying that gloss on there really freaking hides that sun-baked part on the top. Very impressed with this. The other panel's drying, and you see how we got rid of a lot of that white stuff. We're gonna have to go back and wash them again. That's where people have had their arms sitting for what, 15 years, 10-15 years. So we need to give it another scrub before we spray this one. So we got it masked and ready to spray. Now this is the first time in my life I'm using this $20 a can higher quality interior paint, and we're trying to match that color on the Jeep. So we're gonna put this to the test. Let's get started. So we got laying down flat to start. First thing, go around the edges. So whenever you're spraying, you're trying to go across the whole panel. You're trying not to just go right there and stop. It's gonna happen sometimes, but just try to avoid it. Ooh, immediately I can tell that this is way freaking better to use. Immediately. Another thing I'm noticing is that this nozzle's not clogging up. But it says to let it dry for 10 minutes and apply the second and third light coats. So that's what we're gonna do. And this is the flat black DUPLI color. This is some good stuff. All right, that sun-baked top is looking a lot better. Let's do a side-by-side comparison. So these are a matching set from 1998, and at the beginning of the video, that one looked like that. These were the sun-baked ones. That's one coat, and I've already scrubbed it the best I could, and you can see how some of it does come off, but at the bottom, nothing comes off. And then after 3 coats, we put gloss, trying to mask that baked area on top. See the baked area? We were able to make it pass the test. And at the end of the video, we are gonna do the same thing to this one and see if we can get that blemish to go away. This one was actually worse, but that blemish makes this one worse. So that was the one on my Jeep in the beginning, and it was sort of looking like that one. At the end of the video, we're gonna fix this one and see if we can make them look the same. But that thing right there is beautiful in real life. I would seriously put those on my Jeep, but they're not the right color. So these panels are off of 2004. They are baked a little bit, but in much better shape. So I chose these for the Jeep. We went with the factory dark slate, and you can see they came out perfect. And we will compare the two at the end, but that's what we started with, and that's what we ended up with. Passes the test 100%. So now we have to put color bond to the test, and let's see if this color matches the Jeep interior. Okay, so this is a 2004. It only came with 2 color interiors. One was a gray and one was freaking dark slate. This is dark slate, looking more like gray. It doesn't make me mad. They're going in this Jeep. I mean, they came out beautiful, but they're not the same color. This is lighter, and that's why I make these videos. If you paid a shop to do your door panels and you came back with that, would you be mad or happy? Some people would never notice that. Some people would be freaking mad. This is the DUPLI color one from the beginning of the video, and now it's looking real freaking sharp. And you see we got the color issue going on. The more you look at it, that one does pass the test because it kind of goes with the seat and blends in, and now this one really stands out. But I was going to sell those anyway because of the top. Keep bringing that up in case you have messed up door panels. This is an issue that comes up all the time. It's still there a little bit, but it looks acceptable. The better door panels look perfect. So another thing to think about is flat versus gloss. This is factory dark slate, but it probably has a whole bunch of armor all on it, so it's going to reflect more light and appear glossy when it is in fact flat. This panel right here is super flat, so if we put some armor all on it, it might make it look a little more like that one. This is DUPLI color's flat. DUPLI color's gloss looks like it has armor all on it, and you can see why DUPLI color passes the test. This to me is a way better looking finish than that, but this does appear to be like a brand new panel. Just wanted to show you the difference. The color bond flat, it's really flat. DUPLI color flat has some gloss to it. I prefer DUPLI color, and I'm going to keep buying it for the rest of my life. But definitely if you had to match a color, well, at least we tried. That stuff works great. It looks great. It looks perfect. So on the sun baked panel, we scrubbed it real good, and it will come off where it was baked, we're trying to remedy these areas. I want you to focus on that little blemish right there, because that's what we're trying to make go away. That thing shows up real bad for some reason. So focus on that. We're gonna go ahead and put 2 light coats of gloss, just like we did the other one, hoping to make that disappear. Okay, it's just sputtering. We can't even use it. All right, so I cannot get this thing to work. I gotta throw it away. And to all the people out there that just have to comment, oh, dip it in some mineral spirits or poke it out with a needle. Dude, I've been doing this for 20 freaking years, man. So with experience, you'll learn when these can be cleaned. Usually you just have to blow them out with an air compressor. If you put this in a solvent, it has a little glue in there and this thing will just blow out. How many of you cleaned in mineral spirits and how many of you stuck a needle in there? You can't even stick a freaking needle in there, dude. All right, so the second coat is really doing a good job, but our blemish is still right there. Let me go ahead and finish this up. So I'm taking gray Scotch-Brite, trying to blend that blemish in with light coats. Color Bond brand, $22, shipping and everything off of eBay. Beautiful results, as you can see. We'll look at these in a little bit on the Jeep. All right, then compared to the DUPLI COLOR flat black, and if you notice, we got that blemish almost completely out. So these had the sun-baked tops. The blemish was about right there, and you can see, you don't notice it anymore. So we just went to O'Reilly and got this for $7.99 a can. DUPLI COLOR flat black, that's what it looks like. Beautiful results. But which one's better? But the truth is, it's all about the way you prep your parts. So many people have problems when they spray interior parts because the paint will just flake off. If it's flaking off, obviously you have something that's embedded in your plastics and you have to get it out. So you're gonna have to research those cleaners. This brand right here mentions a cleaner on its instructions because you have to remove all that Armor All, Meguiar's, whatever they kept wiping these down with every time they washed their car. That's why we scrubbed them 2 or 3 times. We actually ended up scrubbing the top of those about 5 or 6 times to get all that embedded crap out. And you see what happens when you take the time and clean them. They come out nice. So that's going to be your biggest issue, is paint adhesion on freaking dirty plastic panels. So let's go ahead and get these things back on the Jeep and we'll take a final look at them. I just got so used to seeing the black ones in there. Look a little bit different than the interior, but I don't know. So hopefully the Armor All is going to make them look the same, but it's really about the way the light hits them, because right here they look the same. Or maybe it's just my eyes are so used to seeing the black ones. Anyway, we'll get some Armor All on these in the future. And DUPLI COLOR flat has a little bit of gloss to it, and these look so much better. But the main point of why I sprayed these was we were trying to get rid of that baked area, and you can see that process I use. 2 or 3 coats, kind of scuff it a little bit in between, and those things look beautiful now. If you were at a swap meet and you saw these and the other ones that are better, you'd probably buy these. I know I would, but they're not better. So y'all let me know what you think about that color match, and which one is the better deal. Which one do you think you want to use? I think overall, if you're new at this and doing it for the first time, you're better off going with the expensive brand, because people do talk crap about DUPLI COLOR, and I have seen jobs that people do where the paint does come off. So if you're new, I would recommend the Color Bond. Spend a little bit more money, and hopefully your job will turn out like mine or better. So if you're new at this, I would recommend going with this brand right here, because the nozzle seems to work a lot better. These nozzles are junk and they have been for 20 years. This one stopped up like 20 times today, but they do both get really good results. I think this one looks better, so I'm going to go ahead and stick with using my DUPLI COLOR, because this one for $22 I was paying for a color match that I simply did not get. So one more look at the DUPLI COLOR is looking beautiful, and we don't even see that little blemish. I honestly don't know which one it's on, but it's gone. Sun-baked areas. So Color Bond looking real flat, needs some Armor All. Color match not doing so good, but these are the better door panels, so they got the better finish. So I do like them and I am happy, but that color match, is the only thing that's kind of bumming me out. You see, they do look the same at certain angles. If you got this back from a shop, paid $300 or $400, how would you feel about that color? Would that pass the test for you? All right, well, that's it for the video. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.